Oh, is this thing on? The Diecast Iceberg. What is the Diecast Iceberg, you ask? Think of the Diecast Pyramid. Same thing. Same general scheme. You start off at the very top, the most obvious, the most popular, and then you go down each level and you see what else there is to every single level. The deeper you go, the crazier it gets. So this is the Diecast Iceberg.
Iceberg, right ahead!
So let's get right into the video, guys. If you find entertainment, information, enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. And consider subscribing to the channel. So the Diecast Iceberg, at the very top, the top of the iceberg that's poking out of the water at the ocean, and you see the tip of it, what is there? HotWheels Mainlines. HotWheels Mainlines. We're going to start with HotWheels Mainlines first. We're not going to go down to other manufacturers such as Adventure Force, Muscle Machines. I mean, sure, there's a lot of collectors for that, but let's start where everybody knows where to start, and that's HotWheels Mainlines. So pretty self-explanatory here. You don't really need much introduction to mainlines. If you're currently collecting diecast or even thinking about collecting diecast at this point, you know what HotWheels Mainlines are. They are the quote-unquote $1 Hot Wheels that you find on the pegs everywhere. Some of them have front and rear tampos, some of them have graphics, some of them are just plain, some of them have no tampos. This is where the collecting madness starts. And this is where some people prefer to stay. And for some weird reason, you don't know what a Hot Wheels mainline is. This is a Hot Wheel mainline. Most of these are going to have plastic base. All of them are going to have plastic wheels. Some of them do have metal bases, depending on which model it is and which era. Some of the older era Hot Wheels mainlines, a lot of them came with metal bases. That is typically the tip of the iceberg when it comes to starting to get into diecast. And of course, Hot Wheels mainlines are the home of the Super Treasure Hunt, rubber tires, Spectra Flame paint, real shiny. One of the biggest allures of diecast collecting happens to be the Super Treasure Hunt. What else is there on the tip of the iceberg? You have Matchbox Mainlines. Some would argue that Matchbox Mainlines are even of better quality than Hot Wheels. This is all subjective, but I tend to agree. I tend to agree that Matchbox Mainlines do, in most cases, have better quality than Hot Wheels Mainlines, but Hot Wheels seems to cover a broader spectrum of cars, especially more popular cars. And with Matchbox, it's a little more of the obscure, the less known, less generally popular, but still in all equal rights cool mainlines. And I also happen to have an example in my hand of a Matchbox mainline. This is called a Power Grab. They do come in these boxes overseas, and some US companies actually carry these as well. For me, it's my local Kroger store happens to carry these. So somewhat rare to find these in the States, but most of the time you're going to find mainline Matchbox cars on carded packaging, just like Hot Wheels mainlines. All right, so we're off the tip of the iceberg. Now we're down at the waterline. We're still above water, still completely visible, completely relevant to the outside world, and we're at the water level of diecast collecting. What is there? Hot Wheels premiums are there. We're talking the premium sets, the theme sets, Fast and Furious, Boulevard. We're also talking 2-packs, we're talking transports, we're talking box sets, we're talking all those things. So the difference with these is that you're going to have a metal base with rubber tires and typically higher quality paint. You're going to get higher quality paint on the Hot Wheels premiums versus the mainlines. You're going to get a better clear coat. But these have gotten more and more popular despite their cost difference compared to mainlines. Mainlines usually typically averaging around $1.18 a piece. With these premiums, are looking at roughly a $6.50 retail here in 2024. Sometimes going up as much as $8 depending on the store. Stores obviously have the right to mark them up however they want, so they will. But typically the average going price is right around $7. Transports and 2-packs have gone up significantly in price as well. 2-packs not so much, typically around $13. You're going to be able to find those 2-packs currently at Target. However, there are rumors that those are going to be showing up in other places because Target just doesn't really have the peg space to carry those. So they kind of don't want to deal with them anymore. That's the rumor, at least. So keep an eye out. You might start to see them in your grocery stores, might start to see them in Kroger's, maybe even some of your secondhand stores like Ross, Marshall's. Just keep an eye out, but for right now, only at Target. Transports are ones that have gone up significantly in price. I remember when those used to be about $12.99 a pop. Now you're looking at about $16.99 a pop. These are the ones with trucks. So you got some form of hauler, and then you got a premium car that goes with it. Fortunately, I made the mistake years ago of trying to collect all of them. And it's cost quite a bit to keep up with. And looks like they're going to try to make a run to at least 100. Hopefully it stops there. But we will see. And then as far as the ever popular Boulevard cars, this is the Walmart exclusive only set that many people chase and don't have luck finding. And I happen to be one of those. I do not have good luck finding Boulevard cars locally here in Arizona. But we are currently over 100 now. We are looking at set number 101 through 105 for those. I have made the personal decision to stop collecting those at 100, so I have 1 through 100. But they're going to keep going, and who knows when they're going to stop. So if you have the patience to go chasing after those cars, good luck. And then also on that second tier of iceberg levels, things, you got the Matchbox moving parts series and collectors pieces, Matchbox collectors pieces. A little bit of a step up from your mainline Matchbox, just like in Hot Wheels. Unfortunately, you don't usually get metal base, if at all. I can't think of any models off the top of my head that have a metal base. Still plastic wheels, but you get moving parts, you get a little more detail. So this is an example of one of those. This is the latest release, S2000. Blue, convertible, very nice. Opening hood. You can see that F-Series engine in there, which is really cool. The collectors are a nice addition as well. Those do all have rubber tires. So metal bases, I don't think so. I haven't opened up many of those. But the Matchbox collectors do have rubber tires. The Matchbox moving parts do not. Alrighty, guys, we're under the waterline of the iceberg. And what's next? HotWheels RLC. I'm placing those right there, right under the waterline. A lot of people know about them. A lot of people go chasing after RLC cars. These are pretty much the creme de la creme of Hot Wheels. Obviously, you have to sign up for RLC membership yearly and go chasing after these cars. They do sell out extremely fast. A lot of people do not get every release of RLCs. And yeah, sometimes you have a lot of website issues, so good luck with that. But all in all, RLC makes some great products. They just came out with a chameleon paint R34 Skyline GTR, which I will show now. And it is a great addition of R34, especially for Hot Wheels. Metal base, opening hood, great quality paint. They also come out with really cool stuff that you're not going to see in the premium lines, kind of like the Honda Integra. Not Acura Integra, Honda Integra. JDM front end, right hand drive. They came out with the white one, and they recently came out with the yellow one. Really cool addition to an Integra. And you're not going to find it anywhere in mainline or premium. The closest thing you got is I think it's the DB8 Integra that came in the Fast and Furious, the light blue one. That one is a 4-door version of that car, and it was specifically in Fast and Furious. But regardless, you get some really cool cars in RLC. If you can justify paying, roughly about $25 every time, and if you can have the patience to wait in line and possibly not get the car, then it gives you something to chase after and makes it worth it. You get master sets, you get super treasure hunt sets for the year. You get a chance of those at the end of the year. Those are extremely limited, extremely hard to get, and relatively spendy, but you do get a chance to acquire those near the end of the RLC year. Another thing that falls on this level is the Hot Wheels Elite64, one of the newer lines from Hot Wheels. This is meant to be a higher quality line Hot Wheel. Some of them do have moving parts. The Lamborghini Aventador that they came out with does have a removable rear bonnet with engine detail. It's pretty nice. But they have their own unique bases, own unique wheels, and they're just probably a step above Hot Wheels Premiums for sure. They do have some very minute differences, and speaking in a customizer perspective, they're pretty cool to take apart because they have many working parts together, such as exhaust, seats, roll cages, things of that nature. So pretty cool and relatively cheap, usually easily accessible, at least thus far. We'll see how future models go, but that is another higher tier option from Hot Wheels to consider. And right here on this level of Iceberg 2, we'll go ahead and throw Johnny Lightning, AutoWorld, and GreenLight in this general area. Actually, relatively speaking, quite a step above Hot Wheels as far Hot Wheels Premiums goes, as far as quality and detail. Detailer is what these three companies are known for. Very, very good quality product. The only problem is that many of them don't really cater to everybody, with a lot of JDM especially, and European cars being the hot stuff to collect as of right now in 2024. These manufacturers really tend to stick to the domestic stuff, so that kind of limits their growth potential, in my opinion. A lot of people collect them. There's no problem with these cars whatsoever. They just, some of the makes and models that they come out with just don't cater to everybody. So that's kind of why I don't think they're even a little lower, I should say lower down on the iceberg, but they are a great quality product. You get chase pieces, you get a shot at them when you go find them in the stores. Overall great quality, and let's not forget that AutoWorld makes a really, really super nice Mark IV Supra, which I'm a big fan of. So kudos to you, AutoWorld. Keep it up. We're going to talk about Sparky. So the Sparky is a smaller 1/64 scale version of the Spark Models. It's the same company. Sparky is obviously, you know, give it a cute little name because it's a tinier version of the bigger scale cars that they do sell, which are extremely nice. But these are no exception. These are very nice as well. They typically specialize in a lot of race cars. You get some GTR options. You get some, I think, some Mercedes-Benz options. You get lots of Porsche options. That's what turned me on to them, is they're the only company that offers a 991 RSR Porsche model. Needless to say, I'm pretty high up on them. I don't collect all of them. I only collect the ones that catch my eye specifically. They have a Pink Pig one. They have a Rothmans one, and some other really cool ones. But and they just came out with a Roxy one, which is pretty cool. And Hot Wheels is coming out with their rendition of the Roxy later this year. Super excited to see that, but I digress. Sparky is a really good budget model. You're looking anywhere between $10 to $15 for these cars. Extremely great quality for that price point. Again, just not very much to them. Die-cast body, plastic bases, pretty good wheel choice, good graphics, good livery, really good interior detail, good roll cage detail if it comes equipped with that. But this is definitely a model brand you should check out, especially if you're into race cars. The next product I would consider on this list is going to be, I'm looking up because I'm looking at one right now, Schuco European Classics. So I got a couple of 918 Schuco European Classics sitting up there. This is a great quality model. It's a roller. Again, you're looking at like plastic bases. You're looking at some race livery, things like Porsche. I think they have some Mercedes models as well, maybe some Japanese models. I know they have some V-dub stuff too, so if you like V-dubs, check them out. But again, just a really great model for the price point, very cheap. I think those ones usually range about 10 or 15 bucks as well, just like the Sparkies. So definitely a good model to check out if you are interested in acquiring something that looks good but doesn't cost a whole bunch. Poster cars, another one. Now, Poster Cars has one of the best bangs for the buck, in my opinion. You're looking at anywhere between, I think, 6 to 12 bucks on average per model. They make some fabulous Porsche 918s, great detail, rollers, excellent quality. A lot of automotive dealerships actually carry Poster Cars in their gift and memorabilia sections. Might be worth going to your local dealership to check it out and see if you might be able to find your car that you're looking for. I didn't know what I was going to say right there. But yeah, great price point, great quality. Definitely check out Poster Cars. And next over on the list, going down the iceberg, sliding deeper and darker down the iceberg into deeper depths of water, MiniGT. A lot of you guys know about MiniGT. Fantastic product. Great packaging. In the US, at least, you get it on a blister and you know, you get it on a blister pack and a card, but it also comes with a box for storage if you choose to open it up out of that. Again, I'm looking up because I have them right there on my wall. Fantastic models, just a little bit of a hike up in price. You're typically looking about 16 to 22, about 22 bucks for these. They are numbered, they are fairly limited, but not extremely limited. Easy to find, easy to collect. Many more people are carrying these MiniGT models, so, and they make a wide variety of stuff. I happen to collect a lot of the Huracan GT3s that they come out with, the R35 GTRs, the GT500 GTRs, GT3 GTRs, GTRs.
Arg, we're arg, about arg to hit arg.
Out with it, man! Arg.
R34s, Sylvias, R32s. I mean, there's so much. There's so much. So they make a little bit for everybody. I think they're starting to get a little bit into the older cars, which is pretty cool for those who enjoy collecting that type of stuff. They make a great line of Porsches, and they just came out with the 356, which is pretty nice. And they're also coming out with brand new stuff like hypercars, like straight up hypercars. So that's pretty cool. But needless to say, MiniGT doesn't need much introduction. A lot of people know about MiniGT, and it is definitely one of the best bangs for the buck on the market. Next up, an up-and-comer, PopRace. PopRace has been getting a lot of attention lately, and rightfully so. They're coming out with a great product, very weighty. Most of them have metal bases, rubber tires. They went through what I would call a little bit of an experimental stage to where some of their models weren't that good. Perfect example, 997 Liberty Walk Porsche. It wasn't very good. But in recent examples, they have come out with a lot better stuff. They're coming out with Nissan R33 400Rs. They're coming out with Toyota Yaris's, which Dane Self, one of our diecast community MVPs, absolutely loves Yaris's. They come out with some great ones of those. But definitely an up-and-comer. Definitely a brand to keep your eye on. PopRace is coming out with some cool stuff. A lot of some of them have moving parts, some of them don't. Overall, great quality, and they appear to be getting better and better. As far as price point, anywhere between I think 15 to 20 bucks is usually the going point for those. So definitely a great brand to keep your eye on. Next up, Tarmac Works Collabs. Tarmac Work collabs are great, and that's going to come in the form of the Global 6.4 line. A lot of those are collabs, either whether they be Lamley, whether they be Shmi, whether they be Schuco Tarmac collabs. Great quality. Again, a little bit on the lower level as far as Tarmac Works is concerned, but still a great quality model. You're going to find some really nice Porsches, some really nice Pagani models. You're going to find lots of cool stuff in the Global 6.4 line and just the collab line in general. All of them are rollers. A lot of people worried about rolling with Tarmac Global 6.4 and just about all the collabs. I think every single collab that I've seen rolls. Just a little smidge up higher on the price list. You're typically looking at anywhere between, it's kind of a generalized margin, but 15 to 25 is usually typically where you're looking at for those models. But again, they all roll. Great quality, and some of the Global 6.4 cars have metal bases too, so they're actually pretty weighty. I know that the couple of Liberty Walk Dodge Demon, I don't think they're Dodge Demons, I think they're Hellcats, Liberty Walk Hellcats. If I remember right, those have metal bases, really good rollers, really good quality. And I do actually collect right over here. This is my Pagani Huayra shelf. I got quite a few Global 6.4 Zonda and Huayra R's, and I absolutely love them. I'll attest to them any day of the week. Okay, moving on to deeper depths of the iceberg. We're going to stick with Tarmac, but we're going to go down to what I like to consider their signature line, which is the Hobby 6.4. So the Hobby 6.4s tend to focus more on quality rather than convenience per se. As far as being a roller, they're not always guaranteed to be a roller. It's really focused based on details and realism, because many of these cars are based on a real car. Lots and lots of race models, lots of cars that have competed in real life races. So they want to put the emphasis on detail. And one of the other lines can also coexist at this level too, the Road 6.4. There's not very many. I actually personally have one in my collection, and it's an FC Pandem kitted RX-7. It's a beautiful machine.
It's an amazing machine.
And it actually rolls. It's a great model. But yeah, the Tarmac Hobby 6.4 models really focus on the detail, and this is why I put them a step above, especially things such as the Collab line, Global 6.4. Very, very nice models. Great that they roll. But in my opinion, the Hobby 6.4 line for Tarmac is a step above. You're looking at roughly $25-30 a piece for these. I actually made it my mission to collect every 991 GT3R that Tarmac has come out with. They've come out with 16 of them, including two Taiwan 7-Eleven exclusives. Cost a little bit of a penny to get them over here to the States, but I'm super happy to have those and have all 16 of them. But they are fantastic models. They come out. If you're a Porsche fan, if you are a Porsche fan, you have to check out this line, because they have some amazing race Porsches. They have a great line of RWB Porsches, who my good friend Sammy from 713 Diecast is attempting to collect all of those. They have 935 K3 Kremer Motorsport Porsches. And again, I'm looking over here because I have them. This line also comes in a really nice acrylic case with a nice base.
Bars.
They do come with a card which has a number, a limited production number on them. Most of them go up to about 2,500, some of them a little more. And then the exclusive cars are obviously going to be limited lower, usually about 1,250 or less. But yeah, super awesome. I absolutely love Tarmac Works Hobby 6.4 cars. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. Again, they are a major player in diecast collecting right now, so many of you have probably heard of them, but if you haven't for some reason, definitely check them out. One of my favorite brands to collect, period. And in this particular section of the iceberg, I also put Para 6.4. Some people pronounce it either way. Again, a great model. Some of these cars are just absolutely fantastic. They do a really good job on the Porsches that they come out with. Again, you get a nice acrylic display case with it. Plastic base display case in your face. But really, really nice models to collect. They do a good job on the Porsche models. That's really the only ones that I have experience with, but they are absolutely phenomenal, and I definitely highly recommend those. Another brand in this area that many of you have probably never heard of, but probably a lot of you have heard of, is Aoshima. So Aoshima is a Japanese brand, and really what Aoshima's specialty is focusing on classic Japanese cars. So you're going to find tons of Kenmari Skylines, Hakosuka Skylines, Toyota Mark IIs, Chasers, just all kinds of stuff. These cars are really, really good priced, and the quality of them is amazing. I personally don't have any in my collection, but there are many that I definitely want. And if you've never heard of Aoshima, you should definitely check out this brand. Another brand that's on this level, we all know this brand. Kaido House by MiniGT. Yes, it is a MiniGT product. Designed by Jun Amai, famous Hot Wheel designer. Decided to branch off, do his own thing, and boy, is he killing it. He and his team are absolutely destroying the market with their cars in a good way, of course. Some of the wildest, craziest designs. There are R33s, there are R34s. They just recently released a V2 body style for the R34s, which features a much cleaner body kit than the V1. V1s are still nice, but the V2 really gives them the appearance, the really sleek and smooth appearance of the R33s. Again, I don't think I have to explain very much about these models at all. Everybody is on the Kaido House train. But if by chance you have not checked these out, they are full metal bases. The bases are pretty popular because they have like a burnt monochrome titanium kind of looking finish to them. They're absolutely gorgeous. You get moving parts, you get opening hoods, you get opening tailgates on the Silverados. The Silverados come in a standard body and they come in a dual body. They have a tow hitch, and they are coming out with so many models like all the time, and they are leaked months ahead. So we know what's coming way out thanks to their presence on social media, and they like to tease us quite a bit. And as of this recording, we're still waiting on that beautiful EF Civic to come out. We're waiting on so many models to come out, but the NSX has been released. That was one of my one of the models that I was most excited to come out, and God, it must have been leaked about 6 or 8 months before it actually came out. So yeah, we were like biting our fingernails off waiting for those to come out. But yeah, absolutely amazing models. Again, I don't think Kaido House needs to be gone over with a fine tooth comb. Everybody friggin' knows about Kaido House. But yeah, if you haven't, definitely check them out. Excellent price range. You're looking at it anywhere between 20 to 25 bucks per model. And again, they're just cranking them out like crazy. You get lots of opportunities with the black limiteds, which are basically chase pieces. You do get actual chase pieces per case, which feature a raw finish.
Nice.
And you also get show exclusives as well with those models. So there's lots of opportunity for chase pieces for the chase hunters out there. Just a fantastic product. Make sure you check them out. You're going to love them. All right, moving on. One of my favorite brands to collect, Inno-64. Inno-64 is a fantastic product. I love Inno-64 cars. Great detail, great quality. In recent years, they've really seemed to step it up and make an effort to get most of their models to roll. You get all kinds of really cool exclusives, including the CLDC R34 GTR exclusive. Comes with a magazine. It's a beautiful monochrome blue. You also have the Malaysia. I believe it's either Malaysia or Indonesia. I don't remember because I don't have this specific model. But again, a monochrome carbon. I should mention that the CLDC R34 in blue is actually a monochrome blue carbon. And the Malaysia or Indonesia show, I can't remember. I'll definitely put it here on the video once I remember what it is. But that's actually a monochrome green carbon, and that one is a chase piece. They come out with some beautiful models. I'm telling you guys, if you have not checked out Inno-64 for some reason, you really have to hop on and give them a check out for sure. Some of my favorites, again, I'm looking over here because I have them. Some of my favorites are the R33 Nissan GTRs, specifically the 400Rs. I've kind of tried to make it a point to collect all of those. Any of the Mines Skylines I love. Their S13 coupes are amazing. Their 8.6 Truenos are absolutely amazing, and they make 11 as well, and the 11 is it's so good. I have to say that probably one of my absolute favorites are going to be these. These are the R33 Pandoms. They have 2 of these released. They have this blue one, and then they have a kind of matte gray one, but the detail on these is so crazy, guys. Look at that. Friggin' roll cage. Everything is lensed. These roll. These specific ones roll. I mean, it really doesn't get any better for the price point. But absolutely fantastic models. I love Inno-64. I love what they're doing. I'm a huge fan of Inno-64. So again, if you have not checked out and seen some of the models available through Inno, you gotta go. Go now. And another brand that's definitely worth noting on this level of the iceberg is going to be Hobby Japan. They come out with some fantastic JDM models, some other models. I only have one in my collection. I have an EK9 Civic Type R, but it is absolutely perfect. It looks just like a OEM authentic factory EK9 Civic Type R. Cool thing about it too, it actually has a little pallet with a spare B16B engine on it, so they offer some really cool things like that and figurines with their models. So definitely an awesome brand, especially if you like JDM cars. Definitely check out Hobby Japan. I'm sure they might offer some non-JDM models, but don't quote me on that because I don't have very much experience with them. But what I can tell you is the one that I do have in my collection, it's wow. So moving on to the first line of China. Fast and Speed. So a lot of people probably haven't heard of Fast and Speed. I am a really big fan of Fast and Speed. I think they are a great kind of mid-range model, probably on the lower end class of the Chinese brands. So the Chinese brand consists of many different manufacturers, but they are essentially the same manufacturer.
Right.
And I will go through those and make note of those as we go along. But Fast and Speed is going to be kind of the lower end of that. It comes plastic base, non-opening parts, kind of a basic display case, but again, really good, kind of low to intermediate cost point, usually right around about 35 bucks on average. But great quality. I always like to throw Fast and Speed in there for people to check out, and I'm not sure what other models they have under that specific name, Fast and Speed, but that specific GTR definitely worth checking out. I absolutely love it. So another one to kind of throw in this area of the iceberg is going to be CM Model. A lot of people like CM Model. CM Model makes great quality products. They are one of the few manufacturers that really do a killer job on Evos, specifically wide body aftermarket ones like Voltex, Varus, those wide body kits that are specific for Evos, Lancer Evolutions, Mitsubishi Lancer Evolutions, for those that don't know. They do a really good job with them. They make 8s, they make 9s, they make 10s as far as Evos go. And that's really the extent of what I've looked into CM Model for, but I do want to definitely take a look more into what they offer for Skylines and other models as well. But definitely great quality product. I would definitely recommend. All right, we got another one from the Chinese manufacturing line. This one a lot of people know about. A lot of people are getting in on this. Time Micro. So Time Micro has raised some questions for sure in the past year or so with some of their choices for livery, kind of wonky, kind of funky. But I'm telling you guys, I have a couple of Time Micros and the quality is really good. It's really good. A lot of the Time Micros have opening parts like opening hoods. I have a couple of R34s, opening hoods, metal bases, rollers, really good detail, really good quality. It's crazy saying that, you know, a mass-produced like Chinese product has really good quality, but it does. It has really good quality. So I definitely recommend people take a look into Time Micro. Again, kind of that intermediate price point as far as premium diecast goes, 30 to 35, you know, sometimes 40 bucks. But their quality is just getting better. And it seems like they're doing a little bit less of the wonky stuff. So that's good that they're becoming a little more realistic. So definitely check out Time Micro. Definitely a good product. Another brand that's really hot right now, at least in my eyes, is Solo Model. Solo Model makes some fantastic 992 GT3 RSs. Very nice quality. Coming out with some really good, very accurate factory colors like acid green, gray white. It's just, they're crazy. Really good quality. My only gripe about them is that I wish that they were stanced a little better, a little bit lower. They seem to be a little bit on the higher side as far as the Porsches go. I have not checked out anything else that they have made, but I can tell you that my experience with them, very good quality. I think you'll be happy with them. They come in nicer, kind of a little more upper echelon acrylic cases with plastic bases. I definitely do enjoy those Porsches. Again, I just wish that they were just a little smidge lower, a little more aggressively stanced. And but other than that, great quality product. So this last little square on this level of the iceberg belongs to manufacturers such as Star Model, TPC, all really good models. Star Model is coming out with some great cards, especially Ferraris. So if you like Ferraris, definitely check out Star Model. They got some fantastic stuff. They got Liberty Walk 458s, 458s, maybe 488 models. TPC makes some fantastic models, and I'll tell you what, they're really hard to find. I actually found a Hello Kitty RWB Porsche, at the Las Vegas convention that I had to have that I never seen before. It was a TPC model, and I decided to look for it on eBay. And guess what? I found one result, and it was about twice the price as I was about to pay at the convention. So needless to say, I definitely grabbed that Porsche. They also have chase pieces too. They have a chase piece of that particular Porsche. Kind of wish I grabbed it, but I definitely had to get the OG Hello Kitty. But great quality model. I don't remember if it rolls or not. I did take it off the base to check it, but I don't remember if they roll or not. But they are really fantastic quality diecast models. So check out TPC. All right, we're going down even further down the iceberg, going down to the lower levels. The water is really cold down here. So this is what I would consider the upper echelon of the Chinese brands. And if you have not heard of this brand, you need to check it out. I'm talking about Time Top. So yes, funny name, Time Top. This is the upper echelon of the Chinese brand. The only other one that I could recommend that I just thought of is Focal Horizon. So the models are pretty much the same, metal bases, at least in my experience, full rollers, opening hoods, factory proportioned hood props. They're extremely fragile. Be very, very careful with them when opening. But the difference between Focal Horizon and Time Top is with Focal Horizon, you get a very, very nice acrylic display case. The base is plastic, but it does have that vinyl pleather, and it's numbered. So they're really nice quality. But the thing that really sets the Time Top apart from the Focal Horizon is actually the display case is full acrylic, including a full clear acrylic base. It is absolutely top notch. The one and only Time Top that I have in my collection happens to be my favorite R34 GTR in my collection, and it is full carbon, black wheels, full roller, calipers on the wheels, defroster on the rear window, opening hood, scale hood prop, great engine detail. It's just absolutely fantastic, and good luck finding it. So the black carbon one, kind of hard to obtain, but they are coming out with, I believe, a monochrome green carbon version of that car. Definitely believe I'm going to get me one. Time Top is a brand to definitely look out for upcoming releases. They are absolutely fantastic. I'm telling you, you will love them. Focal Horizon 2, again, pretty much same level quality of car. The Focal Horizons are really, really killing the game on the R33 400Rs. So they look much like the Innos. In my opinion, the Inno-64 400Rs look more like a factory 400R, which is great. There's nothing wrong with it. The Focal Horizon adds a little bit of flair. You get a lowered stance, you get a little bit bigger wheels, a little more aggressive looking. Again, you get an opening hood. The Inno doesn't have an opening hood. You get a scale hood prop that flips open, keeps the hood open. It's just absolutely fabulous quality. You got to check them out. So definitely Focal Horizon and Time Top are definitely, in my opinion, near the top or the bottom of the iceberg. They're near the bottom of the iceberg as far as diecast quality goes. Absolutely stellar from what I've seen from them so far. And speaking of top of diecast or bottom of iceberg diecast, like what is the highest level of diecast you can go? I'm happy you asked. In my opinion, this title belongs to nobody else but PGM. PGM is absolutely the creme de la creme, the top of the top quality as far as diecast 164 models go. Nothing is beating PGM. They are pricey. They are highly limited. You get a lot of opening parts. You get a choice between a basic acrylic display case or a deluxe model display case, which is kind of like a rotisserie display case. They are extremely high quality. I have one in my collection, which happens to be the Apple RWB. And literally the only thing that is wrong with that model that I wish that they would have done is make it a roller. It does not roll. It's on full lock, 110%. But the stance is absolutely correct. Everything opens. And the neat part about it too is you get a little special tool to open up all the parts because they are fairly tricky to open. So that's cool. That adds to the creativity. That adds to the value of the model, in my opinion, to get a little special tool. And the tip of it has like a little small flathead screwdriver looking thing, but you can put it in the door jambs, open up the parts, and it's just neat. So PGM is definitely top of the food chain as far as diecast goes. Diecast 164, nothing is beating PGM. PGM is the top. So now that we got many of the diecast models out of the way, let's move on to resin. So a lot of people refer to resin models as diecast models, but they are anything but diecast. Diecast is more of a higher production run of metal. It's metal. It's a metal casting. So what makes the resin model so special? The quality of detail that resin is able to capture over diecast is just, in almost every single sense of the word, every single case, is apples to oranges. Resin models are able to capture body lines better. You're able to come up with very small parts like mirrors, body lines, just everything is just so crisp and clean and scale. Resin is an amazing process. It's whoever came up with resin models, thank you. So the downside of resin over going diecast is durability. Durability is definitely the number one thing. Resin models are very light. They're very fragile. They're not meant to hold up to any kind of abuse. Some people don't even take their resin cars off the base. So I definitely agree with that, because they are very delicate models, but that's exactly what they're meant to be, as a model. So needless to say, most resin models are not going to roll. They're going to be solid, but the quality, it's all in the quality with resin. Resin is the top of the food chain as far as I'm concerned when it comes to 164. So what are some good resin models? We'll start off with Error 404. Error 404 is a great resin model company. They made some really, really cool models. They, if I remember right, they were the first person to offer the Ken Block Hunipegasus in any type of model, whether it be diecast or resin, and I have that model, and they absolutely killed it. They knocked it out of the park. They also make probably the nicest R35 GTRs that I've ever seen. If you haven't seen them, you got to check them out. I've showcased them on my diecast discussions, where we do a live stream and we talk about diecast, so definitely go and check that out if you get a chance to. But absolutely fantastic models. Error 404. They also came out with a Liberty Walk F40, which is a really, really nice model. Another great resin company, which happens to be probably my personal favorite, is FuelMe Models. FuelMe probably comes out with the best RWB Porsches that you've ever seen. At least I've seen. Their scale, their quality is absolutely top notch. Their paint is top notch. Their stance is top notch. There's just, I can't think of anything bad about them, and I love them. Now, the price point of resin models, going back to the Error 404s, little on the pricey side. You got to be prepared to pay to play if you want to dive into the depths of resin. The Error 404, usually the models for Error 404, you're looking at anywhere between 60 to 100 bucks. The FuelMe models, pretty solid. They average around anywhere between $50 to $70, depending on the retailer. Inno-64R, another great resin company. They've absolutely destroyed the ER34s in a great way. They make everything else look like child's play. If you have not seen the Inno-64R ER34s, you got to check them out. They are top-notch quality. And those ones are going to average roughly about 50 to 60 bucks. They're a little bit on the cheaper end. It's great that Inno makes them a little more affordable, but the price definitely goes higher, that's for sure. Everybody knows Ignition model. Now, Ignition, to my knowledge, Ignition does offer diecast models, but they're really known for their resin models. And I have a couple of their RWB Porsches. Absolute top-notch quality Ignition models, especially for older models, older Porsches in specific. You're looking at probably 70 to 100 bucks. And then another one of my favorite lines, and this is where the bottom of the iceberg is going to tap out for me, is going to be Timothy and Pierre. So Timothy and Pierre, resin model company, they make, bar none, the best 997 Liberty Walk Porsche that I've ever seen in my life. They are extremely expensive. They are extremely limited, usually numbered to $4.99, so there's not a lot of them to go around. They also make other models like Lamborghinis. I have a Lamborghini Aventador Liberty Walk made by Timothy and Pierre. Absolutely gorgeous model. Now with Timothy and Pierre's, you're looking at about anywhere between 80 to 120 bucks for them. But again, they're extremely limited. The quality, the detail is just out of this world on the Timothy and Pierre's. And in my opinion, that as of right now, as of the filming of this video, that's where the Diecast Iceberg ends. Because I think Timothy and Pierre, FuelMe Models, they're right down there as far as best of the best and deepest of the deep as far as you want to go for collecting. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I know I left out a lot of brands, but this will give you a good starting point to look into different models, different brands to look into collecting. If you don't want to just stick with the Hot Wheels, there's lots and lots of options out there, especially with hunting and stuff. Distribution, you know, is always kind of iffy with Hot Wheels nowadays. If you're looking for alternatives, there are plenty out there for you. And there's a little bit of something out there for everybody. Every company has their specialization, their niche. A lot of people are saying that a lot of muscle cars aren't made by these companies, but just hang in there, guys. As soon as these companies become established, you better believe they're really going to start cranking out like a lot of the muscle cars and stuff. So it's just kind of a wait and see to see where these companies go and what direction they go. But the whole point of this video was to show you that there are lots and lots of options out there available, not just Hot Wheels. So don't limit yourself. If you're happy collecting Hot Wheels, then just stick with Hot Wheels. But if you're looking for a little bit more in the quality, detail, and especially availability nowadays with certain diecast brands, definitely look into other brands such as Inno-64, Tarmac Works, MiniGT, Kaido House. The list goes on and on and on. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed the video. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed and you found some value in this video, and I will see you next time.